then the overall things in terms of managing the things and everything. Still, we would like to have this community as a public community, and then we want you all to participate into our meetups, into our knowledge sharing sessions, and then we do have some initiatives getting planned for all of you, for all of us. And yeah, I would like to welcome you all once again. Let's learn, share, grow, network with each other, and then thanks to you to Satish for taking this opportunity, and then thanks for being with us today. And then you have got a wonderful topic where you are going to do some knowledge sharing with all of us. We do have some more speakers lined up. At least we are trying to have one speaker from product management background, purely product management background. Okay, I'm stressing upon this particular thing. I hope you are getting it from which angle I'm coming from. But still, we are planning to get those speakers so that we can have those open discussions, and then it is for those people who would like to get into product management, those who are already into product management but would like to excel and get on to the next level. So yeah, it's our community, and then we do have some plans in future. I won't be taking much time. The stage is yours, Satish, and then over to you. Welcome you all again. Thanks.
Thanks, Rituraj, for setting the context, and thanks everyone for joining. Again, it will be good if we all can join this AHA Slides link as we do some small icebreaker before we get started with it. Okay, let me do this. Yes. You can use a QR code, QR scanner also. Even that we can use it. I haven't prepared the slides today. The ones which we are using is one of my previous discussion, but still relevant to the context. So I am going ahead and using it, and I will do the updates and I will share it once we are done with the session today. Okay, yes, this is a session which I did last time for the product owners community, but the product managers is what the product practitioners is what we are focusing on. Still, I'm reusing the slides and text perspective. Okay. Oh, can we quickly start? What is the typical responsibilities of a product manager from the implementation perspective? You can unmute and you can share, or you can type in.
Maybe I can add my point here.
Sure.
Yeah. Typical product manager responsibilities, he has to guide the different product owners. Obviously, there will be one product owner for one particular product. So collecting the requirements and hierarchy as per the value, and then take on the highly prioritized items for the upcoming sprint, which will be decided in project in pre-plan meetings, sprint planning.
So, thanks, Kiran.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go ahead.
Yeah, so product manager, he has to guide the different product owners for the bigger project. Yeah.
Sheikh Kadir was, thanks for that. Sheikh Kadir was mentioning engage every function and drive product requirements. Yes. And the market research, vision, roadmap, customer feedback, requirements and vision, product discovery, stakeholder communication. Yes. End user satisfaction, customer elicitation, idea to launch, backlog grooming. Wow. Yes. Release product notes. Backlog management, value delivery. Yes. Initiative planning, exactly. Yes. And the customer feedback, prioritizing the features. ROI, yes, that is also important. Okay. let's move on. List down a use case and a AI tool you all used from your professional context. Could be from your office or from your current role perspective. It's any one tool or one use case. You can type in multiple as well. Steve AI. Okay. And why is that? What's the use case this Steve AI is being used? So that even others can get that context. So from my perspective, we are making use of Microsoft Copilot at the organization perspective. We got that official licensed version, and from the personal front, in the next slide, we will discuss that also. From the personal front, we are using that the ChatGPT and the Gamma app and Canva and a couple of other tools. So we will discuss on that. Okay. So first stable diffusion. Okay. Perplexity. Nice.
There is another platform called platform.openai. So it helps you to create your own assistants.
Nice. So that's the main intention of having this conversation today. It's not just me to share the ideas or the things, but everyone coming together and sharing our experience or our perspectives of how we are making use of the tools from different contexts or different use cases as a product manager or as a product practitioner. Yes, thanks, Balaji. Okay, yes. And how about the personal context, or shall we go ahead? Because if we already covered it, we can go ahead and we can get started. Okay. Yes, I'm not going in detail about it. The responsibilities of product managers, we already discussed as part of this initial question. The AI tools, there are multiple tools. We will touch base a little bit of the tools and a little bit of the use cases today. And okay. We will do the demo as well, how we can make use of the tools, the use cases, and we will sit and obviously the question and answers as well. So feel free to ask questions or feel free to share your pointers as well whenever you want. You feel like you are having a use case or a scenario or a tool which you can share with others, right? So there is a main intention of having this conversation today. Okay, then moving on. I'm not an AI trainer. No, this is not AI training, or this is just a knowledge sharing or gathering session. This is to give a quick walkthrough of some of the use cases. And of course, this is not the end. This is the beginning. We will start continuing the conversation as part of our community as well. Okay, yes. Again, this is an old slide from the product owner committee, but still, this is more relevant. This is what we discussed it. The research and analysis, the customer and you understanding end user perspective, defining the roadmap, vision, prioritization, customer satisfaction, ROA, all this comes from the product manager's perspective. So one of it, like, let's take a look at how we can make use of ChatGPT or any equivalent tool to define the vision, strategy, and roadmap. Any project, whenever we, or any product, whenever we start, that is our one of our first topmost priority or responsibility as a product manager. If in case I join a organization as a product manager, that might be one of my key responsibility for me to get started with. So let's quickly take a look at it, how we can make use of the ChatGPT as one of the tools to define the vision, strategy, and roadmap. And again, let me set the context. What are the output the tool will get? Because it is all based upon the prompt we use and the inputs, the details, information, as much we provide to the tool will be able to give that much of information. based upon our prompt. It's not a question and answer session, it's a prompt and the response from the tool. So this is a use case I used for that for one of the automotive client when we are having a conversation. So we will use a similar prompt today to define a roadmap for a banking project, because it will be easy to have the conversation. Maybe I thought like we can make use of a banking as a project, the online mobile app. Let's start doing that. Let me copy that. Okay, it's like I don't have that prompt ready, but I can take it up. And let me bring up that ChatGPT. Okay, so consider yourself as a product manager for the banking banking organizations. Help me to define the vision, strategy, and roadmap for the next 5 years. Focus of the current organization is to improve the NPS score from 50 to 60%. I'm just giving some random numbers, right? And to expand into rural market by 15%. Okay, so this is what I'm giving it as a prompt to the tool. Let's see how that vision, strategy, and roadmap comes as a response from the tool.
This one request, this often within our organization, they ask why we have to use this as a tool, what problem it solves, or like how the efficiency can be improved. Is it a is it something like something you can tell from your experience? If I have to write a vision statement like this, right? It would take 1 day, 2 day, but with ChatGPT, it has taken 5 minutes. Something is it something? Is it something which you can quantify? Because one observation is like people are reluctant to use it. Okay. The second is that the information which has been provided by here is overwhelming, and then people sometimes get lost, and then it takes some time for the people to get used to this one. Okay. So um, while prompting is important, then it's a separate skill with the people have to take care of from a product management perspective. But it'll also help us to, even if you cover something like what is a typical challenge of a product manager when he is trying to read a vision, right? Then using this prompt, it will help in this way. No, then we can connect the dots.
I don't have a direct way or mechanism to quantify that numbers, Balaji, to your question. But as you can see, you yourself mentioned it may take at least 2-3 days to define the vision, but which the tool just gave in within a couple of minutes by taking the prompt as a base. That itself is like one of the example or reference
So
we can use.
I understand. If since
right now I don't have any quantifiable numbers or use cases.
Can we ask other product managers within the group to share their experience?
Sure. We can discuss it once.
Yeah, how difficult, how complex is to write a vision itself?
Yes. Lakshmi, you would like to...
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I use it more like a reference only. I mean, I don't think it should be like a copy paste thing that ChatGPT says something and then you copy over the response. But starting from nothing to having something in hand as a reference and then, like refining on top of it, that will save a lot of time. Like you mentioned, from 3 days to getting just to 1 hour or maybe even half an hour on this job, it gets us to that point. And that's been my experience with ChatGPT.
Exactly. That's so my personal experience as well. If in case I have to do this, I might have to discuss. I might be taking my own time. Instead, the tool is helping me to give a starting point as a baseline, on top of which I can build or I can define or I can revise it. Yes, Rituraj.
Yeah, and this is not only specific to the role of a product manager or a product owner. Even for developers, they are getting some baseline code. For creators, they are getting some baseline content. For the other personas, they are getting something as a baseline, right? You won't make use of the same thing as it is, but definitely it is going to save some time and energy and effort for you, right? So it's like you get something instead of reinventing the wheel, you get something. It's like the way we have learned C language, right? Hash include stdio.h, that library, right? Or maybe any package from Java or .NET, where you don't need to write a code for string concatenation. That code is already written by someone. You are just getting a package included into your code, and then you are calling some methods out of the already written code which is written by someone else, right? So it's just like that. And again, even the way you called out Microsoft Copilot or GitHub Copilot, Satish, it's just Copilot, right? The main
Exactly.
pilot is still going to be you only.
Mhm.
So these are my 2 cents. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Thanks, Rituraj.
Good point, Rituraj. And I think I would just give my 2 cents here. I feel when I start with, the product vision, what I do is I first write my thoughts in, and then look at what chat gpt gives me, so that I don't get lost with just chat gpt's content. Instead, I put my creativity, my thoughts in place first, and then take help of chat gpt to draft it better. So I think it's up to you on how do you want to use it, but it's really a good tool, to help you draft things very quickly. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So there is another way. Like for my personal use, I use the same way. First, I will compose whatever I want to do, whether it is even if you observe my LinkedIn post, also I'm making use of ChatGPT from the personal front. So I will first define it on my own content, and then I will ask the tool to refine it so that it can look more polished or more professional, or sort of information which I can use from sharing perspective.
So if you put it in a known unknown domain wise, is it something which we can talk? How much unknown part gets cleared and then move to known domain, known zone?
I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
Because yes, see, all of you are already playing the role of product manager, where I am not. Right? So for me, yes, definitely the unknown factor. I don't know how to define a vision. I know I have to define a vision, but I don't know how to define vision. So for me, from unknown factor, it moved into known factor. But you are all playing the role of already the product manager. You already know how to define the vision, how to define the strategy, roadmap, everything. You got my point, Balaji? So that known unknown factor differs from individual to individual as well.
This is where actually the contention rises. When we put this forward, that people know, but what is that unknown the chat GPT brings up?
Yes.
Just a thought. Just a thought. You go ahead with your otherwise I'll derail your schedule.
Sure. Yes. Okay. So yes, now that based upon the prompt, we got this vision, strategy, and the way by taking the inputs like the customer experience enhancement, because there is one of the input that improve the net promoter score is one of it as defined as a strategy, and the rural market expansion, because there is another statement in the prompt which we gave. So these are the two defined as a key strategy statements, and the initiatives are defined by taking that as a baseline. Then the digital transformation, product innovation, the operational excellence, all these came up by taking the prompt as an input. Then comes the roadmap 5-year plan. And as you can see, open 10 new branches and ATMs in rural areas, because there is again one of the input we gave as a prompt from our side, right? So we will be taking this as a baseline, but what if like we feel, okay, instead of 10, maybe we can go with 20, or maybe we'll start with only 5. It is up to us how we refine it and how we make sure and get it done. And this is one of the maybe unknown factor or unidentified, or which we might have thought, like launching the financial literacy programs in rural markets. So this launching new branches in ATMs, we all might have thought about it, but developing and launching the financial literacy programs in the rural, we might have not thought about it. Maybe then that can be an additional input or a suggestion from the tool, which we can start building on top of it. Right. So yes, this is how the vision came up. The key performance indicators, again, by taking our input as a base, the tool started getting it and increasing the customer satisfaction, digital adaptation, all these started defining it. Now we can either give another prompt to refine it, or we can continue with the next step, what we want to do with the tool. So let's suppose we can give another prompt stating that, hey, along with this, we mentioned NPS score and expansion to rural market. We might want to mention some other prompt as well, some other pointer as an input, which will help us to define the tool to refine the strategy in the roadmap. Right? So that is one of the input. Now, one of the use case which we thought of discussing. Now, let me give another prompt considering the input from the tool, from the attached document. Define the personas customer journey map for the rural market launch expansion perspective. So I'm giving another prompt continuation, and I'm giving one of the file as an input. The file which where is it? Just a minute. Just now I did that one of the input which we did yesterday. Is it downloaded? Let me do it here. Okay, got it. This is the input we got. We expected more, but still, whatever the input is given, we will take that as a baseline, and we are asking the tool to define the persona and the customer journey map. Let's see how the tool responds. Why I am showcasing this use case? Because as a product manager or as an organization, we might be getting the customer inputs or the customer feedback in multiple forums, either as a survey or as a feedback or as a different pointers, and it might be lakhs of records as well. We individually going through such document and asking, doing that manually, defining the persona or the customer journey map. What's the challenge? What's the pain point, or what's the delight factor for that customer from that end-to-end perspective? If we can make use of the tool to process that information and give us the reference use cases or the personas, that can help us to build on top of it. That's the reason I want to showcase this use case as well. Let me do that and we'll see. Of course, this has only small input, but the tool is analyzing it. And that is where we get that as one of the use case, Balaji, if you ask me. Right? See, the tool started giving it, the farmer, because one of our vision statement is the rural market, expansion in the rural market. There is a reason the persona is defined, considering that the pain points and the technology, and the another for person as the small business owner, and the third is person as a daily wage worker. So these are the different personas which were created by taking the input from it could be a huge Excel or a PDF. I even tried with the PDF files as well, like 4 or 5 different PDFs at a time. The tool still process that, and it will fetch the required information, and it will give us the output. That could be one of the maybe the effectiveness or the use case where at least we can start using the tool as a guidance or as a helping hand from the implementation. Right. And the customer journey map for the rural market launch, it gave all the required aspects, right? The awareness stage, consideration stage, it includes the touch points, customer actions, pain points, opportunities, each and everything. This is what we typically do, or we are supposed to do. We'll be doing it. So that is where we can start making use of it and see how it can help us as a starting point, as a reference, and we can go through it and get it done. Right? Are we good till now with the 2 different use cases which you discussed? Okay. Now, what I'm doing is, let's take a diversion from the ChatGPT, too much of ChatGPT. So I'm going to use a Gamma as another app. So this is the app which can be used for the presentations. Again, if in case we have any organization specific templates or formats or the fonts and everything, the organization specific, this might not be of exact help. But for any generic content or any presentations, we can use this as a tool which can help us define the presentations in a short time or in a simple. There are different ways. See, the paste in the text, which is what I'm doing it now, or we can even directly generate as a one line prompt, or we can import a file or URL. Even we can do any of it. Right. See, I already did different things there. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to do a paste in the text. So I copied that and I'm pasting it. Direct information. I want to do a presentation. So let me continue. Okay, and I'm going to use the 10 cards. Of course, Gamma is a paid tool. Right now, I'm using a free version. So that's why it is allowing me only the 10 slides or 10 cards, whatever it is. So I'm continuing it. Let's see how the tool helps to define the personas as the customer journey map along with it. So I'm not doing any changes. I'm going ahead. Go ahead and do that. I used this Gamma app for multiple presentations. Whenever I am doing a session related to AI tools, I'm using this as a one of the tool to showcase how we can simply prepare the presentations with the prompt or with the input coming up. It is even creating the images by taking the input by the prompt of the content which we pasted. One thing what I having concern is this ICICI Bank image, which I don't want to use it, but yes, this is for the demo purpose. We can still go ahead and use it. So let's quickly go through it, the presentation. Okay, we'll start from the beginning. Okay, so this is the presentation which was created just from the time we started the conversation. It is not even 20 minutes, but we defined the vision, we defined the strategy, roadmap, personas, customer journey map, and even the presentation, which we can take it as a baseline and start presenting it. Right. So Balaji, coming back to your question, right? Yes, this is how, I don't have exact measure, but yes, how we can showcase the effectiveness, how much time we as an individual might be taking to define all these steps versus how the tools, different tools for different use cases are going to help us in achieving the outcome, or at least as a starting point or as a baseline. And even the title, the images, everything was generated by the tool. There is the one thing I can show you as a benefit. Let me see how we can do that. Okay. Next slide. Yeah, we are good. Or any questions related to this?
So is it a paid one or
We have the free version as well as the paid version. Right now, I'm using a free version. The Chat GPT, Gamma, everything I'm using a free version. So the free version has a limits. So at a time, we can generate 10 slides. So that's why I gave the limit as 10. But the paid version has more slides or more content generation, everything. But as a starting point, we can even use the free version.
okay?
Okay. And the beauty of this is, let me stop it. We can download this. We can export it into a PPT or a PDF, and we can, without any license or anything, I mean, without any payment. So if I export it, it will automatically export it. And yes, it is. It will show that made with Gamma as a thumbnail sort of thing, but still we can remove that. No need to have that, or no, it's not like a watermark where which you won't be able to delete it. We can delete it from the PPT which was generated. Right. So this is the PPT which we downloaded. So this is how it will. I will simply delete. That's it. Oh, okay. You're able to see the screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the PPT which I downloaded from the Gamma app. As you can see, it is having that made with Gamma. You can come and we can delete it. Even with the free version, we can still go ahead and do it. And yes, this is the, I mean, the other tool or the use case. By taking the content from ChatGPT, we can even start preparing the PPTs or the presentations. Of course, provided like if in case you have to present a generic template, or then we can take this as a baseline and we can apply our the formats or the templates which we might have to use from the presentation perspective. Right. Then another thing which we want to discuss is the Atlassian Analytics. Again, this is the paid version, Atlassian Analytics. But how this analytics can help us as a product manager is to get the, where is that use case? Let me show it. Okay. Yes. See, we are driving a program or a solution. Let's suppose this is a showcasing a safe implementation, like the programming, how many program increments or what type of flow items, but we can customize it. We can do the adjustments as required. So as a product manager or as a product owner or as a program manager or even as a coach, whatever the role we are playing, by giving this as an input, we can generate the value stream level flow metrics with one single click or with one single configuration. So as you can see, the cycle time, the flow efficiency, the throughput, the work in progress, the business results, the key results, everything can be generated by taking the information from Jira as a tool into this, the Atlassian Analytics. Of course, the Analytics is a paid version. It is not a free version. So for the enterprise subscription, they are providing this functionality and how it can help us from the implementation or identifying the gaps or the delays, or how we can improvise the flow as a product manager. Maybe even to define the predictability perspective. So, in the past year, 2023, for 4 PIs, we might have delivered 16 features with the cycle time as 3 days per user story. Now, if we have to define the predictability of how many features our release train can deliver versus how much, what could be the average cycle time, we can take this information as a baseline and we can start building our reports or building our roadmap accordingly. Right? So this is another use case or another perspective where we as a product manager can get the benefit of using these AI tools. And the same way, in case the DevOps is configured, yes, even that will give it the thing. And yes, this is another tool, Jira Align. We don't want to go into that, but yes. So all this information can be generated within the fraction of minutes just by doing the configurations or just by giving the prompts or passing on the required information to the tools. This is how like these tools can help us improve our efficiency or can help us improve our day-to-day deliverables and get the work done in the easy, effective way.
Satish, I have one use case where I have say
Yes.
this big business data, business planning, what we used to do at the beginning of the year, complete for my business unit, maybe which includes say some 10 product lines, which will be supported by some 15 COCs. So I want to see a trend of how this data gets changed every quarter and how my actual revenue is there. Have you come across any of such use cases? What tools we can use there? Currently, I go with the big pivot charts and a lot of subcharts, and it gets my work very cumbersome in sometimes. Any other smart ways? We others in the call have any ideas would help.
Sure. Anyone want to share or what tools or how you are handling this use case in your context? Okay. So with the Atlassian Analytics itself, we have the similar templates or the dashboards which we can try to generate it, Ganesh. I mean, you might want to give it try, take a look at this Atlassian Analytics and see if in case your organization are already using Atlassian products, this could be easy. But again, if not, we can even configure with other information as well, like Amazon or to say the Databricks, MySQL. The input can be anything, even the Snowflake, PostgreSQL. The input for this Atlassian Analytics can be anything. but there are multiple pre-built templates at the team level, the product level, the solution level, or the enterprise organization level. There are multiple templates like this, which can help us to generate this information. So from my perspective, we haven't used or we haven't came across any that scenario right now. So we haven't explored it. But once you take a look at that Atlassian analytics template, you might have that as one of the template. You can take a look at it.
Okay, Satish. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, or otherwise, we ourselves can create our own sequels, which we are exploring right now to customize and prepare our own charts, like as the tool is showing, right? So we can add the columns or the inputs information, and we can create our own charts or our own templates, which we are exploring right now at this point of time from our organization. So the tool is giving some templates. We in the sense, we as an organization, we are expecting or we are looking for some other information on top of it. So we are creating our own templates using this as a baseline.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah, thanks.
Yes, see, like this project view, the roadmap view, there are different templates already which is available, which you can just give a try and we can see how, if in case it works. Otherwise, maybe let's see if in case someone has any tool which they already used or how they're handling this situation. Rituraj or anyone else, Lakshmi, anyone use or came across this situation or use case?
No, Satish, this is new to me.
Okay, maybe we might have to start exploring that then.
Same here. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yes, these are the some of the use cases I thought of touch basing. Yes, again, if you want, we can explore any more templates. I mean, any more use cases, any more scenarios. And within Atlassian, if in case again we are making use of Jira, the Atlassian was bringing the AI, and they're calling it as artificial intelligence. Let me go to it. I don't have the pages details as expected. These are all the dummy thing, but just to showcase, right? So here we can do. Is it still coming? Okay. Is not coming up here. Maybe because I am on a trial version, but the Atlassian intelligence gives the way to summarize the Confluence pages and summarize and see. Yes, I'm on the trial. Maybe that's the reason it is not giving me that option. But otherwise, that functionality is brought from this Atlassian intelligence perspective, right? So they are giving these different use cases, even to start by defining the JQLs. Give a statement, the tool will prepare a JQL and fetch that results. So that level it started, and generating insights, especially from the Confluence page. As a product manager, this is what it might be more useful for us. During the day, yes, generate a summary of my upcoming release by giving that release name. If we give it as a prompt to the Confluence page, it will fetch the information across the pages, in plus from the Jira as well, and it is giving that insights, saying that the median cycle time increased while it decreased in July. All this information, like based upon whatever the input, the prompt, it is all the prompt. Right? The prompt, whichever we give, the tool will help us get that output or that information by doing all that analysis and the research. That is how we can get the help of the tool. Yes, within the Confluence page, yes, we have that rewrite, as Nilanchi mentioned. I'm using Grammarly for my personal usage. Instead, now the Atlassian, they themselves have that writing directly on the Confluence page, or even you can rewrite the existing content. If we are giving an input, the tool will help us rewrite. And for the features on the user stories at the Jira level, we are using to define the acceptance criteria within the user stories and the features. And one use case which we did in one of our previous session within the chart GPTs, as a continuation, we'll give that, now that we define the vision strategy, define the list of epics or the features and split that features into user stories, identify the dependencies across the user stories, do the sprint planning. We can even give that as an input. The tool will generate that and it will create that as a high level thing. We can quickly give that as a try. Yes, see, this is the prompt which we used. We can use the same and I will do the changes. Back to the GPT, product manager. Okay, I will remove this. Acceptance criteria for the above vision, above initiatives. Let me give it as a initiatives. List down the output in a tabular format and also plan the user stories in the sprints considering the dependencies. Let's take a look at it. Oh, the tool started creating the user story, the acceptance criteria, the sprint planning as well. Of course, we know that it is not the exact sprint or exact acceptance criteria, but still this we can start using it as a baseline version. So the tool started creating, I think it might create some 10 or 15 user stories. Let's see. Yes, the 10 user stories. So now I will give another prompt. Include the defined personas for the list of user stories. Refine the user story definition accordingly. I haven't mentioned this earlier. So now, instead of as a rural farmer, the tool started in as Ramesh, as Sita. These are the personas which the tool defined. Those personas started coming into the user stories, and the persona also is listed. We can get that holistic view of whether all the use cases from the personas are considered or covered, or is there anything to be added? Is there anything to be changed? Yes, everything is covered from that prompt perspective. Yes. This is another use case. Again, because this is a free version or because these are just the discussion, we are using only the prompts to this level, but we can go as much detail as required and we can ask the tool or we can take help of the tool to not just ChatGPT, it could be anything. In our organization, we are using Copilot, Microsoft Copilot. So instead of ChatGPT, we are doing it the similar activities using the Copilot. Only the tool is different, but the end result more or less could be the same because it is all based upon the prompts and the inputs, the guidance which we are giving it to the tool. Right. And as you observe, like I am setting the context in the beginning in the prompt. Then consider yourself as a product manager. So the tool here is acting as a product manager and helping us to define this and do all these activities. Right? We are good. Any questions?
It was a nice prompt. I mean, like encourage. The only thing is like how to add more details to it in terms of non-functional requirements. Also, can that be incorporated in this thing, the user stories?
Yes. The arrow list of user stories. Make sure to list on the non-functional requirements. Let's do it. It will add as a separate section because we explicitly mentioned it, the non-functional requirements. Yes. See, the small business owner started like localization, supporting for regional languages, the performance and the usability, the system, the performance and usability, everything is started defining as a non-functional requirement as well. Again, see here it is simply mentioning follow industry standard UX principles. We as an organization, we might be already having our UX principles, so we have to make use of it. The tool is not defining each and everything. And one more thing I want to explicitly call it is like make sure not to provide any organization specific or the sensitive information for any of these free tools. We need to make sure not to provide any the sensitive information or any confidential information to the tools. That's the reason the input which I gave for this conversation is the response which I got as a survey which I sent yesterday on the WhatsApp groups. It has no actual customer information, no actual transactions or any of the details. All this is like dummy data which we use just for our current conversation. So from the organization specific, make sure to take care of this data security, data privacy, and all this as a topmost priority. We might not be using the tool, but making sure taking care of that security and the privacy is more important compared to usage of the tools. But if in case, in our case, as I mentioned earlier, we got that official version, licensed version of the Microsoft Copilot. There we can go and ask from our organization context, list on the personas or define the user stories from the personas as per our organization context. The tool already know the personas which we are using because we already gave it as an input. So the tool will continue using that as a reference. No need to provide as an input or pass on as an information to the tool because our licensed version of the Copilot has that information already. The same goes to the other pointers as well. Like maybe we might have already defined that non-functional requirements or the pointers. So the tool will consider that and then bring the result or response by taking that as a base. Does it answer your question?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sure. And we can play with the tool again. Till now, we are asking the tool to play the role of the product manager. Now, I want to switch the role. I can mention, hey, consider yourself as an architect, technical
Maybe
architect or
Satish,
system architect. Yes.
just one question before you move on. You said
Sure.
in your office you have this Microsoft Copilot license, right? So how much is the data you can feed there? Is it that we can be very open to share all information there? How is your that licensing model? Is it safe if we want to propose this to any of our organization and take it?
Yes. So our organization, they did their own POC by involving that architects, the tools team, and different folks. From the compliance and audit perspective, like different folks. One of us also part of that pilot, the POC. They did research around different tools, and then they, as a final, that POC team finalized Microsoft Copilot as a final version or the final tool, which at the organization level we can make use of it. Right? So that POC needs to be done, Ganesh, for sure. And we can't say because we are using Copilot, it might help your organization also, might not be. Your organization context might be different.
Okay, understood.
Right? So that POC definitely needs to be done. And accordingly, we can, when we are doing the POC, the data security, the privacy, and all these are taken care, are to be focused on. How much, the reason, like a a normal user as a Copilot user going and giving that information as a prompt versus we as a authenticated, licensed, single sign-on user giving that information, there will be a difference, right? So we need to make sure our prompt or our information is safe and secure. It is not getting clubbed or passed on to the outside our organization. So that research and analysis our POC team did, and they ensure that the information, the inputs, the prompts which you are giving versus the responses we are getting will be within that the safe and secure zone. That's the one of the criteria where we went ahead with that licensed version of the tool. Right? Because we can't give that input, especially the organization specific, the what is it, very secure information or very risky sometimes, right? Especially like one of you were talking about that financial information, right? We might not want to take a chance or risk with that. We definitely be much more careful or cautious whenever we are passing on such information to any of the AI tools.
Yeah, clear, Satish. Thanks. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks. This is how we can start using, and the next use cases again we can build on top of it and can go ahead and we can continue. So the tool as a free tool, as a free version, the tool has a limit of like these many prompts per day or per session. The same even with the licensed version of Copilot, we have that limit. Per session, we can use 40 prompts. After the 40 prompts, the tool will ask like, you want to start a new session or you want to come back or you want to have a continual conversation at a later point of time. Because even the tool wants to remind us that yes, it's not just using the tool. We need to do our actual, bring our human intelligence as well along with the tool, and the sustainability factor. If we have to start discussing about it, it will go prolong the discussion. But how many times we are giving the prompts, that much of that the sustainability factor is coming into context. The energy used or the gas emissions is coming into context. All these as a side effects of using the tools, if we start from that angle or from that perspective. So that's where defining the prompts in an effective way and giving a one single prompt that will help us to get that as much information within the one single prompt itself, rather than giving 2-3 prompts and giving that, passing on that back and forth. We can still do it, but again, that usage of the tool or the sustainability or that different perspective, we need to consider that aspect as well. Right? We are good.
Yeah, Satish, Sharath here. I think it's a very good session. What I think is from the prompt engineering perspective, also I think we need to have a special session on that. Whoever is expertise, order of the day, probably on our platform, either of the platforms, we will do a special session on the prompt engineering also,
Sure.
so that people can use it effectively rather than using it randomly with some querying, which might or might not fetch the required outcomes.
Definitely, Sharath. We can work on that and we can see. Maybe we can take help of Ketan or someone and we can plan that session as well.
Thank you.
Sure. And again, I was back to Jira. So if in case your organization is having a enterprise subscription or a premium subscription, we have one functionality called as plans. Earlier, it used to be called as advanced roadmap, but now the Atlassian team, they renamed it or they revised the name as a plans. So what these plans help is I'm creating a demo plan just to show how it comes. Again, this could be one of helpful functionality from the product manager or product owner, scrum master, or agile coach, any of the role, this could be helpful. What this plan is going to help is like from the release planning perspective. So what is the dependencies? Now that the ChatGPT as a tool started defining the user stories and the dependencies, but once we start creating that features, epics user stories in the Jira as a tool, and we start listing down the dependencies, we can start making use of these plans to visualize the dependencies. So now the demo plan is created. Let me quickly go to the dependencies. So these are the upstream and downstream dependencies. Right. So for this API endpoint, they have two downstream dependencies, and for this, it has one stream dependency. Like that, there are multiple dependencies coming up, and which along with the dates, everything, the teams, everything, these are all the dummy plan. So that is one way we can take a look at it. Then the other thing is this is the excellent way of representing the dependencies. So as you can see, starting from the initial set of user stories, let me do it. Yes. See, this is the end-to-end plan of our implementation. Right. So just we configure that project or Jira projects or the Jira Scrum boards. By taking that as a base, the tool is helping us to create that visualization of the dependencies, which can help us to start having that conversation with the dependent teams. If you're a product manager, or if you're an architect, or if you're a product owner, or a coach, or a scrum master, any role, we can start having that conversation. Hey, we have to complete these responsive design guidelines by 9/28, which means we need to make sure this thing is completed before, so that the team can start working on this as per the timelines. And if not,
sorry to interrupt. Is this available in normal Jira or Jira Align?
This is not a Jira Align, but this is a Jira plans. So if in case it is a enterprise version or a premium version, we might be having access to this.
Okay.
You might have to check with your Jira admin.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, this is not the Jira Align, because Jira Align is again separate licensed version from Atlassian, but this plans is provided along as a add-on for our Jira software for the premium and enterprise subscriptions. So we are using enterprise subscription. So we got these plans as an add-on. We are making use it within our organization again to visualize the dependencies and help come up with the plans, realign the release plans and everything by visualizing it.
Understood.
And again, within this year, they recently started defining the program or a program board. It is not giving as expected. I tried it last time in one of the session. It is not giving it. From the safe implementation perspective, they are bringing it but it is not giving the expected expected result or outcome by using this program board. But yes, it is still in the beta version. It might give maybe they might improvise it as we go into it. The other functionality which the use case which the plans is helping is auto schedule. This is another interesting use case which we are trying it for some of our teams. What this auto schedule will do is by taking the dependencies, by taking the story point estimates, by taking the sprint capacity of the teams, the tool itself will come up with the sprint plan. Again, it is up to us how much you want to go ahead and make use of it, but at least it can help us to start with a baseline version of the sprint plan or as a release plan. Right? So let me quickly do this. Okay, we already have this sprint 1 and 2. Then why these sprints are not coming up? Let me see. The team is also there. Let me do that auto schedule and we'll see. Again, this is all dummy data, so I'm doing it. I'm not worried about it. So, accept the changes. Okay. Is that it is not coming, but let's go to the dependencies and see. Yes, it did some changes or tweaks, which compared to the previous version, the realignment happened for some of the sprints, which we haven't identified or which we haven't listed. I forgot to mention that. But yes, see, this is how the sprint plans are coming up and the dependencies can be visualized from the sprint capacity management view perspective. So let's take a look at it. See, this sprint, it is telling 39 story points out of 30. 30 is the capacity, whereas 39 is planned. That 130%. So let's see why this is not realigned the stories as part of this thing. Okay. Let's do auto schedule once again. Let's see if it gets thing. But otherwise, like any questions or any doubts or anything you want to? Okay, looks like it is not doing it, but yes, otherwise the tool should be doing it. There might be some configuration or something which I might have to check, but the tool will generally align. If we look at the other sprints, all the sprints are based upon that 30 story points. The tool is allocating the stories accordingly. By taking the backlog, the tool is giving the dependencies, the story point estimates, and the tool itself is giving the sprint plan. One benefit of using the plans is all the changes, whatever we did, it will stay only in the plans. It won't reflect directly on the Jira software. We have to come here in the review changes. We as an individual explicitly have to save selected changes in Jira. Only then, whatever the changes we did or the adjustments or updates, it will reflect in the Jira software or Jira projects. Otherwise, we can go around and we can create as many plans and we can play around it and we can change or we can realign the dependencies or the sprints or the teams, everything within the plans. We can finalize it and then we can push the changes, final changes to the Jira as a tool. There is so this Jira plans is going to help. Right? Are you good? Okay, we discussed it. As a common statement again, AI will not replace us. A person who is using AI might or will replace us. That is what the focus of all of us, to make sure what use cases or what tools or how we can make use of the tools to get the benefit out of it and help us in the sense, not just the product managers. We discussed different use cases, like where it can help even the scrum masters or the coaches or even the team members in different contexts. So we can take it as a base and we can start socializing it and start making use of it. Even if we start using it for one of the use case, we can start identifying how much the change or the impact we are realizing it by using that one single use case. We can start socializing it slowly, steadily within our organization context. And AI can't do what I can. This is an ad from Ashirwad. When this AI started socializing or becoming popular, so the human touch or the human intervention is still required. So whenever any organizations are telling that we will replace these roles with these AI tools, no, that might not be the case. But instead, we can see how we can bring that effectiveness for the existing roles or existing use cases or the scenarios, and how we can get benefit out of it. That is what it is, a equal responsibility of all of us to make the effective, authentic usage of the AI tools from our day-to-day perspective. That's from our side, or from my side, the different use cases or different tools or the context perspective. Just want to touch different tools or different use cases so that like we can start getting a context or getting a perspective of it, right? So if in case you're not on the this slide, you can connect and you can give the feedback, and you can unmute and you can share your feedback as well.
Can I go ahead, Satish, if you don't mind?
Sure. The floor is open.
Yeah, thanks for that. So it was a nice session, very informative. Basically, as you said, if you do not use AI, we would be replaced by a person who uses AI. We need it to use in much more constructive way, and any other way where we can add a value which you think which is not covered in the slides. Can you just throw light on that part also, Satish?
Sure, Santosh. Can you come again? Which use case?
Any important use cases or things which are not covered in the slides? I mean, which you think we need to proactively or in a very a constructive way we have to evolve as the things when we are handling in the organization, proactively handle it, which is not covered in the slide. Like for spikes, like how to handle the spikes, spike part, and then where the requirements or the details are not there. So, so where the human touch is required, the conflict part in that sense, and how the product map, roadmap and the vision part gets changed because of the stakeholders' interventions or inputs.
Exactly. Yes, there is a common thing. The change or any new feedback or new inputs, new what is a new tweaks or new scope coming into context or refining to the existing scope or even existing roadmap or anything as such, right? So For the tools perspective, like if in case, let me go back to the tool just for a moment. So now let's suppose our vision, we defined it for the rural market, right? The net promoter score from 50 to 60 and expand into the rural market. So let's suppose that with the revised strategy from the stakeholders, you would like to focus on the metropolitan cities as well. Spelling metropolitan, like the metropolis cities as well, to improve, to increase the customer base by 20%. So then the tool will start, because it already has that input, it started revised personas. The previous personas are more from the rural market perspective. Now with the revised strategy, it will start giving the revised personas. See, the fourth persona was added, right? And the fifth persona, like that. And the customer journey map for the metropolis expansion also started defining, because the rural market is already there. So now the new things was given as an input, and the tool is already at step 4 or 5. So it is continuing it from there. We haven't started the entire prompt. I just gave one single statement with the revised strategy. So the tool started, see, everything the tool started doing it on it. I haven't asked to create the user stories. I haven't asked to define the personas. The tool itself is doing it on its own, because the tool got to know that this is what Satish as a user is expecting from the tool. Right? I mean, does it answer your question to some extent, Santosh? I know not to the exact person, but yes.
Yeah, I mean it goes to, because at the end of the day we have to handle some things on our own only.
Exactly. We have to. Right? And yes, continue then. Looks like it
that is
stopped.
helpful.
Yes. And some things we may have to do on our own. Some things even if we know that the tool, what are the feedback, I mean, what are the inputs or the pointers given by the tool makes sense, we may have to override it, or we might want to do it because of our own organization context, or that the culture or the way how organization works, we know better than the tool. So definitely we will bring up that perspectives, and we will bring up that context, and we need to use that from the tool usage perspective. Yes, Ashwin.
Hi, good evening, Satish. I have a small question actually, because I have to new to this POP, product management and all. I know it from the position of a agile coach or an SPC, but I would like to know, like, if I really want to learn it, which is the best program in the market? Like, there are so many things, like ISB is offering one certification, IIM Lucknow is offering one certification, and like, if I really want to invest an year of my my part-time, apart from my job, like, is there any good course or something which can be, I mean, it's an open question, like anybody can
Yes.
answer on that.
Anyone want to take it up?
My experience was a little different. I moved from being a QA to something called as a product specialist before I moved into product management. In my company, probably because, I was more used to a QA role and a product specialist role. It was quite difficult for me to get into a product management. I had to do a normal PSPO certification for it. Um, that's what probably, gave more confidence and I landed into that role. But I don't think certifications, and it's again an experience to experience, depending on what your career was and the switch that you're trying to make. Certifications again is for your own good, trying to build your own foundational knowledge if you're moving into something else. But yeah, I guess it's case to case basis. There are a lot of institutes which offer different kinds of certifications for foundational knowledge. Even PSPO works good.
But that is like it's a basic level,
It's a
right?
basic one.
But
Yeah.
I mean, on a full term, like there are some institutes which are offering a 6 months course, some are offering 11-month course, anything. Because I think if Rituraj is there, because I have seen so many certifications on his LinkedIn, actually, if he's able to take this question, actually.
I have honestly stopped taking any new certifications or renewing any of the existing certifications. You might have seen a message from my side in our PPGI WhatsApp group about this topic. So I think certifications, they are valuable. Doing such kind of executive management programs, it is also valuable at the cost of what you are learning out of it, right? There are some programs where institutes like ISBs and IIMs, they involve industry experts, right, to teach you what is mixed panel for product analytics, what is Hotjar for product analytics, what is some tool for product marketing, what is some tool for product uh, maybe pre-sales and sales, and what is some tool for product designing, right? So product management is like an ocean, right? So there are things which you can learn theoretically, there are things which you can learn practically. uh, Again, be it any training program, certification program, I always look at those things from learning point of view, right? And it's not only about learning. Once you learn something, how you can apply something wherever you are working, right? So that is what I think certifications will help you to get your resume shortlisted to appear for an interview. But at the time of interview, the hiring manager is always going to grill you upon what practical hands-on experience you have. If you don't have, if you are a novice, then you need to do some certifications, do some training, and then ask those people inside your organization that, can I get into this? Right? And of course, the thing is that either you will get that opportunity, you won't. If you are getting it, well and good. If you are not, then you need to look for some other options, right? So I hope you got the answer, Ashwin.
I mean, given that I have an opening in my organization, like which is the best program in the market now? I am Lucknow as something.
If I ask you something like, you have a plate full of food and you have got gulab jamun, rasmalai, laddus, and fruit salad and ice cream, and if I ask you what exactly you would like to eat, what's your answer? My answer is, I would like to eat everything. I would like to go ahead, do something from ISB, Scrum.org, Product School, Product Folks, PPGI, this, that, mentors, product leaders, people like maybe the leaders which you get to see on LinkedIn, right? There are tons of things which you can follow, learn from. Self-learning is also equally important. So you should not restrict your choice to any one particular thing. You should be open for everything. Now, there is cost aspect which is also involved in there, but nothing comes free in this world. No one gets free rides, right? Of course, PPGI is a kind of a community where we are not putting it as a monetary kind of a community, right? It's a non-profit community. It's all about giving back to the community, and it's for the betterment of all of us, where there is so much to learn from each other. So considering the cost aspect, considering the effort, energy, time aspect, you need to decide, right, what you would like to go for. There are Udemy, Udacity, Pluralsight, Coursera, tons of courses available there. where on Udemy you can simply purchase a course for 1000 rupees, whereas ISB will cost you 2 lakh. So you need to decide what is like affordable for you, and then accordingly you need to plan.
Because on Scaled Agile also, that website itself has so many things on design thinking, customer journey map, like
Yeah,
these are
so
the basic things.
it's
Basic
all up to
things.
you, all up to you, that what you would like to learn, from where you would like to learn, and are you really willing to spend that much amount of time, money, and effort. At the end of the day, today's times, in today's times, you have to be continuous learner.
Yes, exactly.
So that is the reason. Go for ISB, go for IM, everything one step by step.
Oh,
Don't restrict yourself to only one thing. Self-learning, mentorship, uh, like attending the meetups, YouTube,
see, I
Udacity,
mean,
all those things,
yeah, I
right?
mean, I've seen because I was part of the PMI. We were having some great, I don't know, he was a Kashmiri product guru. I don't know his name, but
There are tons of sources of knowledge and wisdom, and then resources are available. You just need to be aware of those things, and then you need to align yourself. Get yourself a mentor, spend some money. It's worth to go for it, because ultimately, if you want to make a change in your personal life, your professional life, you need the mentors. In today's times, mentorship is also equally important. You need to get into that direction. Chat GPT can also be a mentor. You simply put a prompt saying that I need a 90 days worth learning roadmap for data science, gives you the roadmap. And then comes the execution part. You need to be on top of it. I'm just giving you some fact checks, nothing else. And I
so
hope it was
in our
useful.
community, can you post some like primer courses? Like, can you do that kind of? Showing the way, like
We can do that. We can do that. Definitely.
Yeah, that can help,
we can do that.
new people like me.
Yeah. Definitely we can do that. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Ritu.
Welcome, Ashwin.
So Ashwin, just to add on what Rose was mentioned, right? See, my way of learning is entirely different. Whether I do a course or anything or not, I want to understand the concepts. I want to go into that hands-on implementation, which I can showcase as a sample project or the implementation from my side. So from that perspective, I started creating my own vision, my own strategy, my own customer segmentations, my own personas. Everything is on my own in the Excel. This I started doing it in 2022, even before this chat GPT and everything, right? So then the release mapping, the product map, roadmap, everything, that is one way of learning, right? It is like you can call it as like ekalavya. Without doing a course, just still we can go ahead and do the learning, so we can bring that aspects, right? Then, like as Rituros mentioned just now, like we can start using the chat GPT or any AI tool as a starting point, right? So if I go to the tool, I can say that I would like to consider you as a product management expert. Help me to start the learning path and define the roadmap for the next 6 months. List down the references, materials, and information which I could use as a learning from the learning perspective. The tool will start giving it. And more or less, more than this, see, it started even giving my name, because the tool now got to know who I am, my name, my way of prompting, my way of asking the questions and everything, right? And it started giving the books, the online courses. If in case you're looking for, I can share this. The articles, like month on month, month 1, what is it? I have to focus, month 2, month 3, like that. The tool started giving this, right? More than this, my point, my funda is, as a product manager, the domain expertise plays a very, very, very key role. we need to start learning or start focusing on the domain expertise as well, not just the functional aspects of these concepts, but the domain expertise also plays a very key role as a product owner as well as a product manager. So along with this learning, we need to start focusing on improvising the domain expertise or the domain skill set as well. Does it answer your question, Ashwin? On top of what Ritu was mentioned?
That was really helpful. Thank you, Satish.
Sure. I will share this information in the group so that others also can do it.
Yeah, please share the prompts.
Yes, the prompts we used and the current prompt which I used and the outcome also I will share in the group. I will create a document and I will share it so that it will be easy as a reference.
Satish.
Super. A quick time check. We are almost on time, Satish. So do you have anything else to share or are we good?
That's it from my side. We discussed additional aspects as well, but yes. Balaji, how about you? You got some aspects. Looks like Balaji dropped off. But how about others?
Yeah, are there any other questions from anyone else?
Yeah, can we have the next session on this, on this question, like what we have, like a beginner's guide to product manager or something? Satish, it's a request if we can. The PPGI, this collaboration we are having, right?
Sure.
Definitely. Yeah, we will plan something out. Any other questions?
Yeah, one thing like this is Kiran. Hi,
Kiran.
Your voice is breaking badly, Kiran.
Satish. Yeah.
Yeah, now you're audible. Please go ahead.
It is a fantastic section. So informative and thanks for all. Yeah, it's very informative. Very good.
Sure. Thanks, Kiran.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kiran. Okay, I think we are good. So we hope you all found our first community knowledge sharing session facilitated by PPGI informative, engaging. Definitely, we would like to extend our sincere gratitude to our speaker, Satish Leela Venkata Satish Kola, for sharing his valuable insights on the evolving role of product managers in the age of AI. Definitely, Satish, your expertise and experience provided us invaluable knowledge to the community. And I would also like to give a thanks to all of you for your active participation and contribution. Even though it is a weekend, you still join, and of course, your enthusiasm and questions made the session even more enriching. Definitely, we will have more of such events in future. We will be hosting more of such knowledge sharing sessions in the future. And then, once again, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining. And then, let's keep on learning, sharing, growing, and networking together. Thanks everyone. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks all.